Doc had a leak. All 10 episodes already leaked out.
Of what?
Wait, really?
The Last Dance.
Live. Oh, I was on mute. We're live. Sorry.
Oh. Well, did you guys hear?
Oh.
Hey, Fumble.
Hi, guys.
We're
live, Devin. Yeah.
Oh, hey, guys. I didn't even realize we were live yet, but happy Earth Day. Welcome to the Fumble Live. I'm Devin Howard. You can find me on Instagram as @DevinHoward. Jackie.
I'm Jackie Ray. You can find me everywhere at Zaire the Fanatic.
I am Britt Johnson. Happy Earth Day, everyone. You can follow me on all social media at I am Britt Johnson.
And it's your boy Chris, and you can find me everywhere at CK2K.
All right, well, now that awkward intro is out of the way, let's get right into our news, you guys. So obviously we have to talk about Gronk. He is back, everybody. So the Patriots agreed to trade their star tight end and a 7th-round draft pick to the Bucs in exchange for a 4th-round draft pick. He has 1 year left on his contract that'll pay him $10 million, and he's been getting his body ready. Sources say that he's been working out, he's been putting on weight, and also that reuniting with Tom Brady was his focus. Now, when he retired, he kind of hinted that he would return in the future. He didn't really make a secret of the fact that he didn't necessarily feel that this was the absolute end of his NFL career. But my question for all of you is, are you surprised by this move, or do you think that we should have seen this coming? Britt, can you start off?
I am very surprised by this. This is just a little teaser for Britt's takes. We are going to get super in-depth with it in Britt's takes, but I was like literally surprised. It broke Twitter yesterday. Like everybody was going crazy when they heard the news, so I'll just end it at that and let y'all continue because I'll be going in for about 10 minutes about it later.
I know that I wasn't expecting him to return so soon, but I think I had a feeling he would come back eventually. Jackie, then I'm going to ask you the same question. Are you surprised by this move, or should we have seen it coming?
So I don't know. I mean, it was one of those things where my mind just kind of went a million different ways. The first place that my mind went was, okay, this has to mean that there were deeper problems in New England that we know about, for Gronk to be like, okay, I'll come back if the situation was right, but the situation was only right when Brady went to Tampa Bay. So to me, that is an indication that there is definitely, like, that might be a documentary that we want to know what really was going on in New England, during this whole time. So, yeah, I don't know if I want to say it was a surprise because I eventually expected him to come back. And we know how incredibly tight him and Tom Brady are, so I can't say I was like, oh wow, this is crazy, but surprised nonetheless. And I'm glad. Maybe this means he will leave the WWE alone. That was my first thought. Like, don't do that again.
Okay, so you were not a fan of Gronk in the WWE. All right, noted. No. I saw a tweet yesterday that said, I wish I had a friend like Gronk, like who loved me as much as he loves Tom Brady, and it's true. I mean, they're such good friends, and that's true loyalty there. So, Chris, then I want to ask you: are you surprised that the Patriots let go of Gronk so easily, or do you think that's to be expected when they really don't have any leverage right now?
Yeah, I think that was completely to be expected because, yeah, like you just said, they didn't really have leverage with that. I think the only thing that surprised me in this whole thing is just how everybody is crowning the Bucs the winner of the NFC South. Now,
right.
That's the part to me that is
like
that I'm surprised
Oh,
about.
I got you, Chris, later on.
And I'm ready. See, I'm ready. I'll endorse and Britt's take already, top of the show. But yeah, I like that. Those are things I'm saying. Because I'm seeing people like, oh, instantly give them the chip now. I'm like, yo, hold on a second. Chill out. But I think that they didn't really have much leverage with that. It was going to be a situation of, trade me or I'm just going to eat the money and I'm not going to, I'm going to stay retired. Exactly. So yeah, they had no leverage for that in the first place. So no, not surprised on that part, but come on, Tampa Bay, come on.
Someone tweeted me though. I said the same thing. I was like, oh, okay, this will be fun. And then someone tweeted me. Right. They were like, the refs screw you over, and now Tom Brady is going to screw you over because of Spygate. Sackgate. What was the gate that we had? There were so many gates.
All of the above. All of the above. I think everything you said was a gate.
It was everything.
Right.
Seriously.
So I'm like, oh, come on.
So how do you think that the Patriots are going to handle their roster now? And also, I guess, what are your expectations for the Bucs in the future? I know, Chris, you think that everybody's jumping the gun by saying that they're winning right off the bat. But so Jackie, I'm going to direct that at you first. Britt, I want to ask you, but I know we're going to be hearing all of your opinions later. So Jackie, can you answer that question for me?
Like what I expect from Tampa Bay now?
For Tampa Bay and for the Patriots. What do you think the Patriots are going to do with their roster?
I don't know. I mean, my main thing with New England has been, let's see if Belichick can do what he's wanted to do when he wanted to go with Garoppolo instead of Tom Brady in the first place. Let's see if he can win without Tom Brady. I think if he can figure out a way to do that, it's definitely going to be done. But I'm with Chris on this one. I think, I get it, Tampa Bay. You want this to be, like now you kings of the South, but I'm telling you that's not it. I don't care who he get. He can call all his homeboys over there. It's not going to work like that. You can call your mom and them, everybody. Bring them all. It's not going down like that. A 42-year-old goat. Stop it right now.
I won't go full hate because I do believe they will be better. But yeah, slow it down, champion. Slow it down out here, man.
How do you guys think the Patriots will do though? Because obviously, like we know, Belichick is like he won Super Bowls as a defensive coordinator before he came to the Patriots, and then started this whole thing with Tom Brady. So he's known as more of a defensive guy. We've seen year after year his team is just naturally better defensively, and then you just throw Tom Brady in, and so their offense happens to be good too. But their defense is still really good. They were still first in the league this last year. So do you think even though they're going to be obviously tons of rebuilding going on the offensive side of the ball, next year do you still see them making the playoffs just because their defense is so good?
I do. I mean, we say that all the time, like offense wins games, defense wins championships. We say that all the time. I'm not saying that I think the Patriots are going to win a championship, but I do think that their defense is good enough to still make them viable. And I keep telling people, like, they have a great defense. We still have Belichick. Let's not sleep on the mind that is Belichick. The man can literally make, a whole meal out of nothing. So I am anxious. I am very anxious to see what they do because we know that this is what he wants. He wanted this opportunity to succeed without Brady. So however he needs to make it happen, he's going to make it happen. And I wouldn't be surprised if they do go have a deep playoff run. I would be like, it sucks, but I mean, I wouldn't be incredibly surprised.
Yeah, it's definitely going to be an interesting season seeing these two on the Bucs, seeing how the Patriots handle everything moving forward. But now I'm going to jump into our second news story all about Zaire Wade. He's actually leaving Sierra Canyon High School, which is that elite, prestigious high school just north of Los Angeles. He's going to Brewster Academy in New Hampshire. So Dwayne Wade posted this picture of his son. Leo's going to throw it up there for you guys with the caption, "Embrace your path." So let's go back in time a little bit. We knew that there was some tension between D. Wade and Coach Andre Chevalier, the head coach over at Sierra Canyon, because Zaire wasn't getting as much playing time as D. Wade hoped that he would. And just before the quarantine happened, we actually discussed on the Fumble Live how Dwayne Wade called out Coach Andre Chevalier on national television, said that he'd no longer be attending the games, said that he wanted nothing to do with the school or the coach. And we discussed all of that, and now it looks like he's actually taking action on that. Zaire was ready to have like a really good senior year playing basketball, but he did end up tearing that ligament in his right ankle, and he was forced to miss a portion of the games. But now he's going to be at Brewster Academy. He's not going to be playing alongside Bronny, which I know everybody was excited about these two playing together in high school. So my question for you, Britt, can you start? Was this the best move for Zaire, or did D-Wade jump the gun a little bit here?
I've been a big fan. Like on my Instagram page, it says "Say No to Participation Trophies." I feel the same with across the board. I hate when parents. I talked about it when we did talk about it on the Fumble. I did not like that his dad came out and said something about it. We see so many times. Like I can go. I know he doesn't watch the show anyway. But my friend Larry Drew, whose dad is Larry Drew, he was playing with the Lakers for a long time and stuff like that. He originally was at UNC and then transferred to UCLA, and then just like his kind of basketball career didn't go the way he anticipated. But you see that a lot with like the children of basketball players, because they think who their dad is, they can just hop around and just get in with any team and not try to figure it out and make it work with where you are. Like when you're in the NBA, after I guess your contract, when you get into free agency, you can do that where you can hop around. But really, when you first get drafted, you're signing a 4-year deal minimum. So it's like you're in a position where you're going to have to make it work with the team, and you can't go and cry to your dad whenever something isn't working out in your favor. You figure it out and learn how to deal with it. Like, and a lot of these kids now, they're playing on all these like travel teams and stuff like that, to where they can get into a position where they're still seen, even if they're not playing that much in their high school games or whatever. They're playing in the McDonald's like tournaments and all of this kind of stuff like that. So like I just thought that was silly. Like, a lot of athletes don't get those opportunities to just like, oh, because my dad is super rich, that he can literally move the whole family to New Hampshire across country just so I can play basketball and stuff like that. And I just don't think it's right. Like, you're literally aiding your kid a little too much, and I hate that so much. Like, just let the kid figure it out. He's gonna have coaches that don't like him. You gotta learn to deal with it and move on with your life.
Yeah, Britt, I feel the same way. I feel like for a parent to get so involved and to kind of make a decision that's this drastic is a little bit crazy, and I think that it potentially sends the wrong message to Zaire that when things aren't going his way, all he has to do is jump ship and leave, and that's not really a good way to go about life. So, Chris, I'm going to ask you that question. Do you feel that it sends him the wrong message, that he can just like up and leave if things aren't going his way?
I could see how you would think that. But this, I've said this when we first heard the news. This is a common thing. This is what happens in high school sports. The only difference is Dwayne Wade played in the NBA, and we know who Dwayne Wade is. I tried to say the same thing with LeVar Ball back when he was first coming in the scene. This is a common occurrence, especially with kids that are potential NBA players. These parents, whether they are Dwayne Wade's or Joe Schmo, these parents are going to do these kind. You can go through any NBA player, and I can guarantee a lot of these guys played for at least 3 different high schools before finally going to the college they go to. It's just a common thing that happens. I'm not disagreeing on the psychological part and the way they're going to look at it. That stuff, you're probably right on that. But as far as what happened and what's going on with Dwayne Wade and Zaire and stuff like that, that's how high school basketball sports, when these guys are going to try to go to the next level, that's how it goes. It's a very
that shouldn't just be how it goes.
But that's what it is. It's
like,
been like that for years. You can't have a league full of Kevin
Durant's. You're going to have a league full of Kevin Durant's if this continues on. Like, just
but we already have players in the league that you don't hear from that are already have gone through situations like this.
So much.
I actually 100% disagree with you and Britt, Devin. I agree with Chris because, my cousin, he went to Gateway. If y'all are from Colorado, shout out. He went to Gateway. They weren't giving him enough playing time. He ended up going to Hinckley. Didn't work out at Hinckley. Then he went to Marbello. You know what I mean? He literally hopped 3 high schools before he got a full ride scholarship to college. And I 100% disagree. I think that if you are a parent, your job as a parent is to make sure that your kid has the best opportunities. Now, for whatever reason, if he's not getting the best opportunity at that high school because of the coach, because it's not the best environment, I do not care. Your job as a parent, whether your name is Dwayne Wade or Jackie Ray, is to make sure your child has the best opportunities in front of them. And I'm telling you, if you have the means, that's not a reason for us to hate on him because he has the means. That just means that it's easier for him. But I 100% co-sign on this. Do what you can to make sure he gets the
and you were also talking about somebody, because you said schools that are in this area, LA area. There are a lot of schools here where you can do that. I went to high school in Fresno. There was one basketball school you could go to, and that was Memorial, and that's literally where the top draft pick or the top recruit this year is coming out of, and that's where I told you Quincy and the Lopez twins went to. Like, there is one basketball school. You make it work at that school, or you don't play basketball. Like, you can try to play it just one of the regular
somewhere else.
That's the thing. But there's other guys that we don't know about outside of the
people that are in small cities.
But we're not talking about most people. We're talking about Dwayne Wade.
Here's what I think.
I'm talking about most people because it is like I said.
And I'm talking about what I would do if I had the means to hop. If it was one basketball school, my kid wasn't getting the right play, and I had the means to bounce, I'm bouncing.
Here's my question, though. Here's my question. Don't you feel that for a young athlete to overcome some sort of challenge that he's facing on a high school team to, improve his game, get to a point where he's at this spot where he actually is getting the playing time that his parents want, doesn't that make a better athlete than just
no. But not when the coach is power hungry, though. That's the problem.
Thank God parents didn't decide to, my kid doesn't make the basketball team, well, we're sending him to a different school. No, his ass worked harder, and then guess what? The next year he made the basketball team.
When you hear the players that are in the league that have gone through this similar situation, it will surprise because they can still be good people and still understand the meaning of winning and to be that kind of player and go through a situation like that, because it is a situation of not everybody's the same. Maybe you're not a good player and your parent is just like trying to gas you up and send you from school to school. That's definitely a situation. But I can speak in a situation with my little brother who was a great player but did not, for whatever reason, his coach had beef, did not play for 1 year. We moved to another school his sophomore year, and then he's starting for the varsity, leading the conference in points and stuff like that. This is a common thing. It's because a lot of these situations in high school,
the coaches. There's tons of schools in LA. Like,
but that's a matter of LA. That's a matter of means. That's not a matter of principle. That is a matter of means, and that's it. And he has the means to do it, and I'm cool with it.
Look, and I've said this, and this is something I wish that more people would come out about. The high school coaches have too much power to an extent where if they don't like a parent, they don't like a kid, they don't like all these kind of situations. Right, but it's serious though, because for whatever stupid reason, these coaches could say, you know what, you're Dwayne Wade, I don't have to play your son. I don't care. Right. I'm the coach. You're not the coach. And then that's why when you hear LeVar Ball say these things to these coaches, of course LeVar is going to look in the wrong, but the coaches have agendas, and it doesn't always mean that the parent is taking their kid and putting their tail between their legs and running away. No, there's situations where sometimes there's more to it than just basketball.
But I think more often than not, it's not like that. I think you're teaching a kid a bad lesson of, whatever happens, I'm going to just save the day for you and just make you go here and pay off somebody to let you play here and do this. Like, I don't like that.
No, or you can look at it like they're teaching their kids options. If you're in a bad situation, you got options. Whether it's me as a parent. Well, I mean, damn, it is what it is.
Rich.
I mean, if I was rich, trust me, this conversation wouldn't even be entertained. I'd be moving.
Talk one at a time because the audio drops out if we have multiple people talking at the same time. I'm trying to hear everybody and it's like dipping out. But I'm going to move on, you guys. Let's get in. We're clearly divided on this issue. I'm sure we'll revisit it in the future. I'm going to jump into this news about LeBron James defending Ben Simmons. So as we all know, poor Ben Simmons, he's been very heavily criticized despite winning Rookie of the Year in 2018. People have a lot of doubts about his game and his skill, but he's been developing over the last 2 seasons, so he's getting better, but LeBron really believes in Ben's potential. He said, quote, he worked his tail off. The sky is the limit for Ben. His size, his strength, his vision, his IQ. He carries himself as someone who believes he's the best, as you should. He also had some advice for him and said, quote, as long as he doesn't care about what other people say, he'll be fine. 9 times out of 10, people who criticize you have never done anything in their life. Either that or they're jealous because you're better than them. So we know that LeBron has dealt with his fair share of negativity and criticism. He still deals with it, but he also gets a ton of praise. So I guess he's kind of speaking from the heart there. Does Ben deserve this praise? Jackie, can you start?
Okay, so I'm trying, y'all. I'm trying. So here's the thing. I'm just gonna do the one thing that stood out to me from what LeBron said when he was like, if he can just tune out the noise. I don't think Ben Simmons is ever going to be able to accurately or effectively tune out the noise. And the reason I say that is because we know, I agree and I disagree with LeBron. Let me just say that. I agree that Ben Simmons is consistently getting better. He's averaging like 2 steals a game or something like that. He's averaging more points now than he was when he started. He is consistently improving his game. And I do think that he's getting criticized a lot because we're used to that, at least trying to take that outside shot, and Ben is just not going to shoot that 3. He's not going to do it. And I think we know that he can, though. And we see him in practice. We see him taking these shots. We see him being successful in taking these shots. But I think we've criticized him so much that he is literally scared to do it in a game. Because if he makes it, then it's like, why haven't you been doing that? If he misses it, it's like, oh, damn, so you should do it more. So he's damned if he do, damned if you don't. And I just don't think he's ever going to be able to tune out that noise. And so this criticism is just going to get worse. And I think it's going to affect his play. I don't think he's going to be able to really deal with that. I would love to be wrong, but I haven't seen any signs of that yet.
So, Britt, where do you stand on this? Does he deserve this praise?
So there was a great guy that once said, you miss 100% of the shots that you don't take. The first 2 years that Ben Simmons was in the league, he shot a 3-pointer 17 times total. He missed all of them. this season he shot 6 times and made 2 of them. So I think it's like the more and more you keep practicing and working on something, obviously the better you're going to get at it. Like even people used to criticize DeAndre Jordan all the time or Shaq all the time because they couldn't make free throws or whatever. But you also have to be in the gym all the time, at least working on it, to let people know that you're like trying to do it, and you got to have confidence in yourself. Like literally, if you don't have that, that's your own personal problem, and I have nothing to say to you. Like people get shot down all the time. If I listen to people in the comments every day saying I suck and they hate my voice and I should just shut up and all that kind of stuff, I wouldn't have a job right now, but they're not paying my bills, so I'm not worried about them. And I feel like Ben Simmons has to do the same thing. Like, stop worrying about it and just keep shooting the ball, and then you'll get comfortable. And not shooting it necessarily just at practice, because we've seen you make it at practice and in warm-ups and stuff like that. You got to keep shooting. You've only taken 6 shots this whole entire season, and 2 of them you made it. Like obviously we know he got injured and didn't end up playing or whatever a lot, but like you made 2 of them. Like that's literally like you're almost at like whatever it is, 20%. Last year you were at 0%.
Right.
The year before you were at 0%. So like I just think you just have to keep, like they say, if you don't shoot it, you're never gonna make it. So you got to keep shooting it. And literally, I agree with the part of tuning the haters out, but I also I'm like, you don't give him any pats on the back. He's in the NBA. Like he should know how to shoot a ball. I'm sorry. There's like I can see if you're a big man and you literally are never on the outside, right. But even some big men have been making shots like that as of late. So I'm like, I don't want to hear it. You're in the NBA. You make a lot of money. Make it.
All right. I love it. Held nothing back. So, Chris, do you think that he'll develop into a better player over the next seasons, next few seasons? Like, do you think that LeBron is onto something when he says that he has a lot of potential and he'll get there?
Thing is, he is a good player, but the problem is he's stopping himself from being what LeBron is talking about it in he's not intentionally doing it, but it's almost like LeBron is talking about it in a future sense, which is what I disagree with. Like, yeah, we get he could be, but you know why he is not, because like Britt just said, he is not shooting the basketball. He's not doing the things that could help him, be looked at as overall, like, oh, this dude is going to be that next level guy. Like, and we all believe that all the way up until we kept giving him passes like, God, Ben Simmons can do this, could do that. But if he shot though, and we got to stop doing that. We got to stop doing that. Like, he's got to take the credit. And it's not like we're saying anything like outlandish. Like, he's not shooting the basketball.
Shoot the ball.
Shoot the ball. Like,
but why isn't he shooting the ball? That's the thing. Is it because he's scared of the haters, or is what's the reason?
And that's the thing.
Really, in the first 2 seasons, he total only shot it 17 times in 2 seasons of play. So it's like, you're not shooting the ball. That's why you're not making any of them, because you're not shooting them. And then I know we talked about last week when Michael Jordan had said about LeBron James, like, oh, when he first came in, well, he's not an upper echelon player right now because whatever. I feel like that's what Ben Simmons needs to hear, not, oh, well, talking about him like how Chris said, like in the future, like you see him as this guy as if he's already become that guy and he's not that guy. LeBron needs to literally say the same thing that MJ said about him to Ben Simmons. That's when you come out of this. You got to stop. Perfectly said.
I want to just shout out Donnie Trowell in the chat here. He gave us $10. He says, this is why sports keep getting more soft. Everybody's uber sensitive, and it's rare that there are kids that go through the ringer and make it out. Instead, they run from the problems. Not good. Okay, so we got $10. Thanks for that, Donnie. Okay,
so Donnie, but thank you for the money.
Thanks for agreeing with me, Donnie.
Let's not get into the whole lot conversation again. We'll have another debate. We need a live show that's just all about that.
Right.
But okay, so it sounds like we're all kind of in agreement here about Ben Simmons, that he needs to take the shot in order to get that respect, to get better, and until he starts doing that, I guess he doesn't deserve the praise according to the Fumble Live panel. And on that note, I'm going to hand it over to Chris because I'm done with the Need to Know news.
Yeah, and I don't feel like that's not even us being unfair. I mean, if you ain't shooting the basketball, you don't get what you get. Like, so take it as you want to take it, because we know you watch it, because apparently all y'all watching the Fumble. You can't tell us you're not. All right, anyways.
Stealing ideas.
Right, exactly. Anyways, moving on to Post Up with your boy Chris, Quarantine Edition. We are going. Speaking of NBA, Russell Westbrook, man, he's out here. He was. We seen that. Jimmy Fallon is doing his Tonight Show from home kind of thing. It's been pretty cool. And in a recent episode, he was talking to Russell Westbrook, and he asked him the common question because we heard LeBron James talking about he's going to be a little worried when they come back because he's not ready and this and that. Well, Russell Westbrook, he doesn't agree. He says he's been working and he's ready to go. When Jimmy asked him if we were to start the playoffs tomorrow, would he be ready to go? And this is what Russ said.
You're Russell Westbrook, yeah. But I mean, like, if there was, there's rumors that, they could bring the NBA back in the summer and go right to playoffs, would you be ready?
I'm always ready, Jimmy. I'm always ready. I'm always ready, baby. I'm always ready.
You really?
In there and be like, well, I'm going to give it my all regardless, so.
Mm-hmm. Can I just pop in here and shout out Donnie again for the $5?
Donnie.
Thank you.
Yeah, thank you, Donnie. So
I see my
nice
name.
of you. Yes, he sent you a DM about what the Knicks should do. So.
You need to tell us what that is tomorrow on the live, Chris.
Donnie, this better be legit. If I look at my DMs and it says something like, so the Knicks should just quit basketball, then I'm look, Donnie, you and me got pretty far, bro. Look.
That's better than, Chris, you got a pretty mouth.
yeah, man. I still, Jackie, I still hate you for that because ever since you told him, give Chris compliments, man. Y'all, I hate you guys. Moving off of the stupid, oh my goodness. Anyways, moving on to Steph Curry. We've been, seeing the new Drake Tootsie slide, dance over TikTok. Even though, if you guys didn't realize, all Drake was doing was teaching us how to moonwalk. But nobody realized that because somebody made the dance, or he even made the dance, and everybody was doing this stupid left foot, blah, 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 blah. Anyways, all that being said, Steph Curry jumped on the craze, and he did his version, which it looked innocent enough, but I feel like Steph's going a little insane because what happened after the dance is just laughing, and I think someone else in the room, but it kind of feels like he was alone in the room by himself laughing. Okay. So I don't know. I need you guys to see Steph Curry do his version of the spot.
Really on some street, I'ma show you how to get it. It go right foot up, left foot slide, left foot up, right foot slide. Make sure y'all see me when you right slide.
Yeah. Am I the only one who didn't realize it was supposed to be the moonwalk? Or
You're late.
I'm very late.
Weird dance like this, right foot up, left foot slide. They never seen that.
Looking like a drunk chicken. Like, I don't understand where this dance.
Devin, to your point, I was today years old when I realized that too. But I also don't listen to no music.
We didn't listen to Drake.
Do TikTok. So.
Okay, well, at least I'm not alone. I feel better now.
Nah, I've actually found out on this show when we were watching Lonzo do it, and then he was dancing to it because that's the most of the song I heard, and I'm like Michael Jackson. He does it. He said right there, it's the moonwalk. The left foot up. Anyways, Drake, you think you slick, but it worked because everybody's not doing this different dance. Anyways, moving on to, we talked a lot about the NFC South, talked about our Saints, we talked about the Buccaneers. Our is me and Jackie, we know. It's just us. Anyways, but we also got the Panthers. Look, I'm not a fan of the Panthers, but the Panthers social media team been stepping it up in this quarantine. But this recent post, like, I get the joke, haha, he, but maybe this is my inner hater talking, but I saw a little bit of shooketh-ness from the Panthers with this post. They posted this old video from, I think it was this year's ball drop at the New Year with Steve Harvey and Gronkowski, and I'll let you listen to Steve Harvey real quick.
Are you serious?
Why don't you want him? Are you scared that he's in the NFC South? Now, don't be scared, right? But am I being too much of a hater thinking that was them being shook, or is it just like a funny?
I'm on the hate train with you. I thought the same thing.
I get that. And Teddy, shout out my boy Teddy. Moving on to this next one. So we saw, everybody should have watched episode 1 and 2 by now, or if you downloaded the leaked version of the rest of the episode, shame on you. But episode I think it was episode 1 where he talked about the traveling cocaine circus and talking about when he walked in and he saw players doing a lot of extracurricular things. Well, ever since that conversation was heard for the first time on the episode, Twitter detectives were on the case. They were trying to figure out who these players were, and it looks like it's been solved. We have a list of the names of the guys that were most likely in that room, allegedly, because these are guys that were actually suspended because of cocaine use. And there's the list dropped by LA, who tweeted the 4 players' names. Unfortunately, though, 2 of the 4 players actually had passed away, so that adds an element that just makes us even a little more sad. Hopefully, it was for just natural causes and had nothing to do with the cocaine. But the names were second-year point guard Ennis Waitley, fourth year. Now he put point guard, but Orlando Woolridge was a forward. I thought he was like a small forward. But anyways, but he put point guard Orlando Woolridge. I'm gonna say forward. He was born 1959. Unfortunately, he passed in 2010. R.I.P. He had third-year shooting guard Quentin Daly, who was he had also passed, born 1961, passed in 2010 as well. And here's the kicker. Second-year shooting guard Mitchell Wiggins. Yes, that is in fact the father of Warriors forward Andrew Wiggins. He was one of the dudes dabbling in the booger sugar. And it was also confirmed that all of these boys were actually suspended for cocaine use in the 80s. Now, here's my question. Is this Michael's not. We're not considering Michael Jordan the snitch for this information because he just told the story. Twitter did the rest. Are we putting MJ in that snitch category, or this is no? This ain't
and really, everybody did cocaine back then. Like, let's not famously remember, unfortunately, the untimely death of Len Bias, who was drafted and literally went on a cocaine binge and died 2 days after being drafted in the NBA. Like, I think it was the second overall pick. Like, this is very that was a normal thing. Like, we all heard the stories of, like, Michael Irvin in the, like, late 80s, early 90s, and the Cowboys, the whole team was, like, sniffing lines and stuff all the time. Like, and I guess the cocaine helped them win championships because the Bulls were great and the Dallas Cowboys were great. And those are teams both known for cocaine in the late 80s and early 90s. I am not saying anyone should do cocaine, by the way. Very well. Cocaine will not make you better at basketball. I'm not saying that, or football. Right. But I'm just saying, like, it was there. Everybody knows all the stories. It happened all the time. Michael Jordan didn't say anything that anybody else didn't already know, and he literally just was like, "Oh, everybody was doing it then. I wasn't at the time." He wasn't at that time. He didn't say he didn't do it later, but he wasn't at that moment. Mm-hmm. And then, and then, like, and then
that's a little shade.
Twitter saying all this stuff, and Twitter literally the detectives just released the names of the people that had already gotten in trouble and suspended for cocaine. So that's anything any of us could have looked up. So nobody's really, like, dry snitching, but it's like public information, you know.
Yeah.
Oh, we have a $4.99 donation from Michael Rodriguez, right as we're talking about the Cocaine Circus. So thank you so much for that. Dang. And what he said.
$5, my guy. Moving on, but yeah, I completely agree. I just saw some people on Twitter saying that, like, "Oh, my MJ out here dry snitching." That I'm like, no, he's not. MJ, I think he told that story the best way you could tell it. He said there was some players on his team, and again, these guys were only dudes that were caught. But we don't know if all of them were in the room. It's just it's all conspiracy. It's all alleged. So yeah, I didn't see MJ as a snitch in this situation at all. Moving on to Triple B's. All right, now they're going global officially now. I mean, we heard rumors and stuff like that. But, you know, if Melo actually in fact finished that deal with the Illawarra Hawks, we knew that they would be sponsoring their shoes and all that fun stuff. But now officially the site is global. They dropped a cute little promo because I guess in their little Bomb, the family song that they had a few years back to promote the show, LiAngelo Ball dropped some bars on the track talking about Triple B's going global. So they're like, hey, laziness, let's use that clip while debuting LiAngelo Ball's new shoe. Branding, Triple B's all the way. So here's that very short promo right here before I continue.
Triple B, yeah, we going global. Touching millions like I'm doing so. With my People never rise yellow. If you don't believe me, you can check the photos.
First thing I look at the chat, I see LeAngelo Ball shoe. Yeah, LeAngelo Ball. He has a shoe. Y'all leave him alone, but he got a shoe that nobody's probably gonna buy. It's a good looking shoe, but nobody's gonna buy it because why? But anyways. We keep talking about Triple B's and if it's ever going to be successful, if it's ever going to do good. Like I said, unless magically Lonzo and Melo say like, "Yo, all right, family, we'll give you another shot. We'll sign with you guys and hopefully push the brand." Unless something like that happens, or they push it over and it does well on overseas. I think those are the only two options they have for this brand to do well. I just think that Big Baller Brand, as much as I love, LeVar and Lonzo and all those guys, it's become such a meme at this point that nobody's going to take them seriously as a brand, and I feel like them going global is their best chance. But do you guys think that them officially going global changes anything for this brand besides now more people can look at the website and not buy their shoe?
Can I ask you a question first? How much is the shoe? How much is that shoe?
They went down from $7,000 to $185. No, it's like $180, $179.99. Still too much. Much.
I saw, and I wish I had screenshotted it because now I'm gonna steal your idea. I saw somebody on Twitter say that, especially right now with this global pandemic, what LeVar needs to do is donate like thousands of shoes to like high school basketball teams in like the inner cities, and so then they can start tweeting about how the shoe fits great because then the social media presence will increase. Give them away a whole bunch for free. And then people will start kind of appreciating the brand. Yeah. But I was like, that's genius. I love that idea. I'm sorry I didn't shout you out, but yeah, great idea.
That's literally what everybody does. Like, I am low-key sponsored by Jordan and Nike. So, like, Jordan and Nike send me shoes or, like, have me go to events and give me free gear all the time just so I can post the shoe. And, like, literally yesterday somebody was like, "Oh, those Jordans that you did, the new Jordan Deltas or whatever I posted last week, that Jordan brand had sent me." And then they're like, "I would have never known about those shoes. Thanks. I just went and looked for them. They're, like, sold out right now." But, like, people are, like, trying to, like, look and find the shoe because I posted about it. Like, and I'm not even a sneakerhead person. So imagine if you give them to actual, like, athletes and stuff. Like, they literally have a way broader, like, "Oh, what shoes are you wearing?" or whatever. Like, just doing that and just having them do, like, a quick post is literally going to change the dynamic of the brand anyway. But I do think, like, overseas it'll help. And I don't think his brand is, like, ruined forever. Like me and Chris had said before, like, if he does some kind of thing, like, Big Baller Brand by Adidas or whatever, then that helps. And we all know brands like New Balance and all that kind of stuff are coming back in the game, so I don't think it's over for him. Like, New Balance was like a dad shoe, and now they still look like dad shoes, but, like, there's ballers, like, literally rocking them in the league. Like, I don't know how much their sales have gone up, but it helps. It helps to have somebody, like, supporting you and shouting out your shoe.
100%. Yeah, I agree. And that's the thing too, because like all jokes aside, memes aside, I genuinely do like the shoes that they have on display. I'm just not paying $180 for those shoes that they look cool, but yeah, you got to start exactly like you Jackie and Bridget said. You got to start somewhere by handing them out to people that will show them off, like YouTubers, high school students. Like, you got to start doing things like that to push the brand and get them out of the meme category. But until then, like, I think overseas is their best bet. But you know what? All to LeVar. Hopefully, they can get it running. We'll see. Last but not least, we got another conspiracy for Post Up. A Post Up conspiracy, ladies and gentlemen. I wish I had like a sound effect. Like, boom, boom, boom. Like, we got a conspiracy. Post Up conspiracy.
Like X-Files music or something coming in.
Yes. Yes, something.
Right.
We got another conspiracy. This one is, we talked about this a few times, but this one, it comes closer because now 2K is involved. Once 2K is involved, it is 100% real facts. Okay? Now, Leo, if we could put the video over what I'm about to say. Oh, you didn't know? You didn't know, Jackie? Look, so you can see on the left-hand side, right now, this is Giannis Antetokounmpo, the Bucs. Giannis Antetokounmpo playing 2K. And what's that? Double the Warriors? Is he going to play Warriors versus Warriors because that's his future team? Giannis Antetokounmpo to the Warriors.
Going to the Lakers for the last month, and now he's going to the Warriors.
Well, we move quickly over here on Post Up. Now it's the Warriors, right? Okay.
Alrighty then.
Well, which conspiracy are we endorsing? Because we can't endorse both. We can't endorse Giannis to the Lakers and Giannis to the Warriors.
Today's flavor is the Warriors. So we're endorsing the Warriors for today, for April 22nd, until tomorrow when the Lakers comes back.
It does not have anything to do with
Right.
Devin, back me up. Come on.
I don't think he's going to the Warriors.
Come on.
He's going to the Lakers eventually. Eventually, like I've said before, he will end up with the Lakers. I don't know when, but it's going to happen. Mark my words.
Stick into it. No, I completely BSing here. No, I think it's stupid. We've seen this so many times. We saw in Kyrie's last year as a Celtic, he was caught playing with Lakers gear on. It was not him, but he was hacked or something like that. And people thought that he was going to be a Laker after that. This happens all the time. Just recently, Donovan Mitchell was wearing New York Liberty stuff. So now everyone's like, oh, he's going to get traded to the Knicks. It happens all the time. This is just another thing. But it wouldn't be Post Up without a conspiracy. So I had to add this to the list. On that note, Jackie, take over with WTF moments.
All right, you guys, let's get into these WTF moments, and no big surprise, it's going to be the whole Tampa Bay Buccaneers situation. So this one for me is going into, we've got way too much time on our hands, because like we mentioned earlier, Tom Brady is with the Buccaneers, and so now we know that Gronk has followed suit. But what of Julian Edelman? You guys know he signed a contract. His contract doesn't expire, I believe, until 2022. So, I mean, there's not a lot we can do. But maybe Julian is a little bit upset because look what one Twitter user literally went to Julian Edelman's page and searched Tom Brady's name in order to find that Julian Edelman, why you would do this, I don't know. But this is how we found out that Julian Edelman is no longer following Tom Brady. Their IG friendship is officially over. Tom Brady and Gronk are both still following Julian, and Julian is still following Gronk. He just is no longer social media friends with Tom Brady. What does it all mean? Chris, what do you think it means?
I think that we need to add this to a conspiracy on the phone. No, it's fine. You know, I never understand the people that do this, that go to these other celebrity athlete site or pages and be like, oh, you're not following fill in the blank anymore. I need to post this so people can talk about it. I never understand those people that have that thought process. I don't think it means anything. I don't know. Maybe there's more to it, but look, man, there's players that unfollow their teams and still end up playing with the team for a long period of time. I don't know. I think
Okay.
Chris, you know, all the times you want to do the little like edits and looking to see if a video has changed, I'm surprised you didn't check this out because Tom Brady is still following Julian Edelman. I checked it out myself. I went into his page. He's still following
him.
No, Julian's following him. Julian is following Tom Brady. Like, I literally checked it out. I don't know if maybe like when he got all the like. Maybe he did unfollow him, and then when everyone started noticing, he refollowed him. But like, as of Showtime, he was following Tom Brady. So I don't know if somebody was just trying to edit it to where it looked like he wasn't doing it anymore just to start shit, or if he did actually unfollow him, and then once it made news, like I don't know why he wouldn't realize that everybody, like the detectives of social media, are gonna figure it out. You know, like. I don't know if once he's found that out, he's like, oh, let me follow him back before I get in trouble. Like, before daddy comes and whoops me or something.
I'm glad you see. I don't even have the notion to go and see who's following who. Like, I don't even care. I've had people say to me, oh, you're not following me. Oh, okay, sorry. Like, is it a thing?
Content.
Right, yeah. You want me to too much weird stuff. Yeah, I don't like it. Okay, so now this next one is fun for me because of those of you who watched the Teddy Riley Babyface battle, you know the importance of technology and getting it right. Because that was so shameful. But another fun fact, the NFL did they ranked the GMs 1 through 25, and the Detroit Lions have one of the worst GMs in the league, according to NFL analysts. So it's kind of cute to me that the Detroit Lions are like, okay, well, we have to make sure he has everything he needs. So he went on ESPN Live and showed them he has his home office. But the Detroit Lions are also getting an IT guy to sit outside in his driveway in a Winnebago. Not a van, not a truck, freaking Winnebago. And I feel like a lot of you probably don't even know what a Winnebago is because it's like an old school RV. Why not just get an RV?
Yeah.
So, yeah. But if you don't know who he is, Quinn, their GM, he said, we're going to have an IT specialist here with me. So he actually is going to rent a mini, at least it's not a full-size one, a mini Winnebago to sit in my driveway. I'm not sure my neighborhood association is going to like it, but it's life. So yeah.
That is that. Okay.
A Winnebago. Do we have a picture of a Winnebago? I don't even know. I feel like people need to know what this Chester the Molester RV.
I was just gonna say, man, that is not a good look, man.
Yeah, that is so like at least. See, with my Dallas Cowboys, Jerry would let the person stay in his bus, his beautiful Cowboys bus that is equipped and like all decked out and stuff with like I'm sure like a gold toilet that people can sit on. Like, and then the Detroit Lions have the IT guy's probably like not going to help him out. He's like, no, you had me in this little tiny Winnebago for 3 days. Oh, I'm literally making sure your internet don't work.
Right. And it's rented, so you know it's old and it smells funny. Like y'all could hate him.
I think it's good that they're having an IT guy out there. I think that the NBA horse competition could have used something like this. So.
We agree with the IT guy. It's just what they're putting him in.
Yeah, don't put him in
trouble. All right, but that's all I have. So you guys know what time it is. It's time for Brit's Takes. Yes.
Woo! Party time. Especially right now because I'm going to be talking about Gronk, and he's like the #1 party guy in the world. We talked about it earlier. Gronk came out of retirement. He retired about 13 months ago. He was 29 when he retired. He's 31 years old now. And he got traded to the Buccaneers. We all know this. He's going to be joining Tom Brady. Gronk's agent said this yesterday about it. He tells me he feels fantastic, the best he's ever felt. His weight's back up to 260. He passed his physical with flying colors today. He's just really excited about playing football again, and being in Florida is exciting for him. I'm sure it is because he's a party boy and that's a party place. We all know Florida reopened everything again pretty much, so I'm sure he's excited to get out there and party on the beach with a bunch of people. So Gronk got traded when he came out of retirement. He still has 1 year left on his contract worth a little over $9 million. So Tampa actually has to pick up that $9 million and add it to their salary cap right now. The Bucs GM said that Rob Gronkowski is like one of the best tight ends in the history of football, and so they're so excited to have him and blah, blah, blah. I kind of want to run down some things about Rob Gronkowski. Yes, he's been great. He's he's been to 5 Pro Bowls. He is a 3-time Super Bowl champ. Yes, we all know this. But the last time he played was in 2018. That season, he had 682 yards and only 3 touchdowns. Okay. Prior to that season, for probably he played 9 years. I want to say 9 years of that time, maybe 8 years of that time. He has missed a game or at least one game every single season due to an injury. He's had an infection in his arm. So weird. I don't know how. MCL and ACL surgeries. He's had back issues, back surgeries. He's had thigh contusions. He's had concussions. The list literally goes on, and he has never had a complete healthy season where he's just like 100% playing like full force football. Even with that, he's still had some really good seasons. He's had, out of his 9-year career, 4 of those seasons, he had over 1,000 receiving yards, which is amazing. We do know he's played some great football, right? But a guy like that who, let's remember, we just talked about a little earlier too, we literally saw him in the WWE 2 weeks ago. We haven't seen him play football since 2018, and when he did play football last, he actually had a terrible, terrible season, and we feel comfortable enough to pay this guy against our salary cap $9 million when nobody, and we were just talking about nobody wanted to draft Tua because they don't know how he is with his health and his hip thing. But then we're so quick to have Rob Gronkowski, who nobody has seen play since 2018. Nobody's seen him play good football since 2017, and we're going to give him $9 million right now. Like that's what's going to happen right now. Let's talk about a guy named Cam Newton who had 2014 was probably his most injury-prone season ever. Came back in 2015 to win NFL MVP and also make it to the Super Bowl that year. And then since then, he played a couple good seasons, and obviously we know the last year and a half, he's been having injuries again, right? But he's sitting on his couch right now with no job. He didn't just get, set to be like maybe a backup quarterback or whatever. He got fired, and nobody's hired him since. And we saw him play this year. He didn't play his greatest football, but he had several games where he had over 200 yards. He had a game where he had 333 yards this season. So, he was still able to play football even though he had an injury that was lingering. We haven't seen anything of Gronk in over 2 years, 3 years technically, and it wasn't even good when we did see him. So, I have a question for you guys. The only thing I see different in this, between these different guys and the different situations, is the players that aren't getting chances or getting kicked to the curb all happen to be of one color. And then Gronk, who not only does he have injuries and been riddled with injuries his entire career and has gotten chance after chance after chance, but he also is literally a party boy. He's broken tables. He jumps off buildings, doing all this crazy stuff. He's drunk all the time. He has this little Gronk cruise where he gets drunk in parties all the time. But then Odell Beckham Jr. goes and sits on a boat during his bye week, and all of a sudden it's the end of the world. Yeah. So my take here is the double standard. The only one that I see, and the only one that is visible here, is that it is race-related, period. Why are players, and we could go on and talk about guys like Big Ben who had rape charges against him and stuff like that. Big Ben still to this moment is in the league. Why do we see this huge double standard with a league that is 75% African American, not giving the African American players chances, but giving these white guys opportunities? Is it because there are so fewer white men in the league that when you see a good athletic, strong, good white guy that you just want to keep him, but black guys, there's a dime a dozen for athletic black guys, so we'll just get rid of one and replace it with somebody else? I don't know. That's my take. What are your guys' thoughts on it?
I mean, if that was the excuse for giving, then what's the excuse for outside of the NFL for these double standards? You know what I'm saying? That's clearly not the excuse. I'll never forget when Gronkowski motorboated that girl on his boat without her permission. Zeke did a little, booby slap, and then it was like, oh, Jesus, oh, my God. You know what I mean? So it was there's always been a double standard, and I've said it before, and I'm going to say it again. These double standards are going to continue because there's no black people sitting at the table when it comes to positions of power in the NFL. And when you don't have people sitting that can represent you who look like you, then people who don't look like you are going to constantly continue to do these things. We know that the little weed thing in the players' agreement is just a ploy to say, hey, guys, we're looking out for you, but it's not. You're still going to get fined. You're still going to lose. And they're doing it because it's a certain demographic that they test often, when it comes to being tested for weed. The NFL needs to do better because their level of discriminatory practices are overwhelming. And the fact that people kind of overlook them and say, oh, well, no, Cam is this. And then we can literally say, okay, but what about Gronk? It's overwhelming, and until they do better, I don't know. That's why right now, even though I love the sport, it is difficult for me to watch because I know the disparaging difference with the fact that all of a sudden black coaches are a problem. We get a little headway, and then the NFL is like, hold on, that's too much. Let's revert all the way back and start over. It's crazy to me, the amount of discriminatory practices that happen in the NFL, and quite frankly, it's embarrassing. They need to do better.
Chris, Devin, you guys have anything to add?
Chris, go ahead.
Yeah, see, I can't add anything to everything Jackie just said because I completely agree. And that was one of the initial thoughts I had too when I saw this. If you look at it from the tippy top, oh, cool, Brady gets his running mate again, da 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 da. But then, exactly like Britt said, you look down the list and all these other players that are still very talented, still guys that are going to go and played last season or a lot more recently than Gronk did, that can go and be more of a help to an NFL team and, so happen to be of color that are not being looked at. I mean, if I want to play devil's advocate to that, I guess it's the position thing, but even in that situation, and I know, Gronk is Gronk, but we're looking at a guy who a lot of people still think is going to be a good tight end at some point in the league, and that's O.J. Howard, who now is just going to get thrown away and get picked up by another team. And I'm hoping, and again, I know he had his problems. He's not the greatest, or he hasn't had the greatest greatest start to his career, but he's still supposed to be one of the top tight ends. And now if he goes to another team, I hope he goes and balls out, because now he's just getting thrown away. Like, because now Gronk's in the situation, Brady's getting his guy. Now OJ Howard's gonna get thrown away and hopefully go somewhere and he plays well. But yeah, look, this is something that I feel like this is not a good thing to say, but it's something that I've just been so like, well, that's the NFL for you. And it's sad, but like, it just when it comes to not even just the players, and like I said, the coaches, when they're like, well, I mean, yeah, you can say that you don't have many black coaches, but I mean, Marvin Lewis is still there. It's just like, I don't know. And
he was the only guy that's given a chance forever.
For no reason.
Come
right?
on.
But Jackie,
two black head coaches in the NFL.
Yeah, right. But Jackie said it better than I could ever say it. Until that we have somebody of color sitting down helping make these decisions, it's just going to be a continuous cycle regardless, and that's just an unfortunate part of it. That's why I just, look at my Saints and just, keep my eyes closed on the rest of what's going on. Because
here's the other thing, and I've said this too, the NFL is predominantly black. If you guys wanted to force the issue, you could stick together and force the issue. Things are not going to change because y'all are about that check. And I'm not mad. I get it. Especially a lot of you guys come from nothing and you need that money. But unless you're trying to make some sacrifices and get change, you guys could literally shut this down. You know what I mean?
And there's no football without players. I always said that. I said that with the Colin Kaepernick thing. If everybody decided to do what Cap did, Cap would still be in the league right now. But nobody decided. There was like a few people that whatever. But I'm like, if y'all all did it, every black player did that, they can't have football without you guys. So they're going to cape to your side. They don't. I feel like players don't realize their actual power.
Yeah, there's certainly power in numbers, especially in this kind of situation. And I agree with you, Jackie, that it seems like every time there's one step forward, it's two steps back, and it is so unfortunate. It's a really sad thing. But unless anyone else has another point they want to add, I think it's time to wrap up the show. So I'm going to do that. Again, it's Earth Day, you guys. Make sure you recycle.
What are we doing for Earth Day? What are you guys doing for Earth Day? Anything?
Well, I'm just going to go picnic outside. I'm probably just going to sit outside somewhere. Like some secluded little corner somewhere.
Go to like a recycling place and like, but now we can't even, like, I'm like, what do I do?
That's crazy.
We went to the beach and we like did a cleanup there. And then we just hung out at the beach the rest of the day. But like this year there's like nothing that we can really do. But I got my Love Your Mother shirt on.
Oh, yeah.
Mother Earth here.
I love it. Yeah, I'll just be eating my vegan food, but that's the same what I do every day. So nothing different there.
Your appliances that you're not using, use reusable bags, like turn the water off when you're brushing your teeth. There's so many recycle. There's so many little things that you can do and help. And really, we're all kind of helping today because everybody's pretty much in the house. So that's helping the environment in and of itself. So stay healthy.
Absolutely. All right, you guys. Thanks so much for tuning in. Again, back tomorrow, 11 a.m. Pacific Standard Time. Subscribe, tap the bell, give this video a like, and we'll see you tomorrow. Bye. Okay, we have to close out.